Pens can't win the cup tonight, but the two-time champions can lose the dream of 3 in a row. There's Andy Van Hellemond, a veteran of Game 7s. Swede Knox, Ray Scapanello are the linesmen. And it's been a David against Goliath series. Along that line, Glenn Healy, the lowest paid of all goaltenders in this year's playoffs, faces the multi-million-dollar attack of the Penguins. Tom Barrasso's allowed 15 goals in the last 3 games, but he sports a postseason goals against average of 2.00 at the Igloo. And Dick, will we have another fast start tonight? It may be a fast start to the penalty box.
Dalgarno knocking down Kevin Stevens. And Andy Van Hellemond goes to the box after only 6 seconds. The puck went up into the Pittsburgh bench area. And they're both going to go. The fans got pumped because they thought the Islanders' Dalgarno, who got a goal in the first half minute of the game 2 nights ago, was the only one being penalized. But Kevin Stevens is over there as well. So the play is stopped with the puck out of the rink area, the surface. That's a strange position. And Stevens says, "Hey, did you see what he did to me?" And Andy said, "Yeah, but I saw what you did to him." Scotty Bowman has coached in some memorable 7th games through his long career, of course. And right off the bat, Chris, we get the open ice situation with the 4 skaters.
Mario Lemieux on the ice. And now Ron Francis comes out.
Well, they missed Ron Francis the other night, thrown out of the game in the 2nd period because of the high sticking infraction. And they lost a key center man, a face-off man, a penalty killer. Probably a better all-around hockey player than he gets credit for.
And with Mario, Darius Kasparaitis is on the ice with Rich Pilon. As Dick mentioned, that's the matchup we'll watch for throughout the game. And also Claude Loiselle, who's seen a lot of ice time with Lemieux on the ice as well. We're in the first minute of Game 7, Patrick final. 4 skaters aside. And Pilon checked by Mario, and he'll clear it in. Glenn Healy drops it off for Pilon. At the point, Mike Ramsey fanned on it, and it comes out to center ice. Larry Murphy there. Ends make a change. Joe Mullen comes over the boards, but Murphy's checked at center. The 2 Mullens are out on the ice. Here's Joe trying to work in. Knocked off stride by Pilon. Kasparaitis. The outstanding young Lithuanian clears it out to center ice. A minute gone, first period. So no opening minute goal tonight, as was the case in games 5 and 6. Here's Brian Mullen, offside called at the Pittsburgh line.
Only 1 lineup change tonight. It is significant. We mentioned Pierre Turgeon in the lineup. Travis Green, you see his name at the bottom of the screen. An eye injury that was the result of the Ron Francis incident the other night, keeping him out of the Islanders lineup. Team captain Patrick Flatley still unable to play because of the knee injury he suffered in Game 5. Scotty sticking with exactly the same lineup. No changes for the Penguins.
.55 seconds to go in this 4-on-4 situation. Joe Mullen and Jaromir Jagr for the Penguins. Benoit, Hogue, and Brian Mullen for the Islanders. And Kjell Samuelsson with the puck. The crowd was pumped up at the start of the game, but you get a tentative feel on the ice between these 2 teams. Cautious opening couple of minutes here. Here's Malakhov. He'll clear it down into the Pittsburgh zone. Barrasso lets it go. Kjell Samuelsson far side, and he just clears it in open ice down into the Islander zone. Malakhov, the smooth skating Russian defenseman, cruising out to center ice. As Mario drills it in off the pads of Barrasso. The Islanders now will try to forecheck Benoit Hogue, but Jagr comes up with it. Jagr out with Lemieux now. As the penalty's about to expire, here comes Jagr against Malakhov. Jaromir Jagr, both teams back at full strength as it's rolled in on Healy. Loiselle off the boards, past Ramsey, out to center ice.
Big hit on Loiselle by Stevens. Came out of the penalty box, never stopped. Nailed him against the board.
Well, Stevens' comments prior to Game 6 helped motivate the Islanders. He assured Penguin fans there wouldn't be a 7th game. Here's Ramsey's shot kicked out by Healy. And now on the far wing, it's Loiselle out to center ice. And here's Mario. Turning in the zone. Wrist shot. Great stop by Healy with the pad. Samuelson to Larry Murphy and back into the Islander zone. Brad Dalgarno against the boards. Missed a hit from Tocchet. Loiselle gets it ahead to Fitzgerald and Dalgarno. And the Islanders make a change as Derek King comes out. With the rookie Steve Jagr and Ray Ferraro. We still have yet to see Pierre Turgeon icing the call against the Penguins. 3 minutes, 10 seconds into Game 7 at the Igloo. Chris Cuthbert, Dick Irvin, Scott Russell, and the Hockey Night in Canada crew in Pittsburgh. First period action in Game 7. At the point, Uwe Krupp shot. That was blocked. And it's been ahead by Ulf Samuelsson to Ron Francis. He dumps it into the Islander zone, but didn't cross center ice, and icing the call against the Penguins.
Krupp lets a shot go. Doesn't feed all the way through. You see, Tippett had given up the puck. He did a blind backhand. And Krupp shot didn't feed through. You know, Chris, the other night we noticed right off the bat in New York that the Islanders are more of a physical presence. Well, the Penguins trying to do that here tonight perhaps a bit, but the guys who are doing it are the gunners like Tocchet and Stevens.
Here's Malakhov from the face-off, and that great wrist shot right on. Barrasso, no rebound.
Talk about Kevin Stevens and the words that stir up the other team. Today, his quote, he always has a quote. Every day he's got one you can talk about. Today it was, the great teams win the big games, and we're a great team. Another one for Al Arbour to post up on the board.
Now there's Steve Thomas, who had a great Game 6, 2 goals, 2 assists. He'll join Scott Russell in our first intermission. And he was one of the outspoken Islanders in reference to the Stevens comments prior to Game 6. Here come the Penguins. Jeff Daniels down left wing. Jagr there too, the shot right on goal. Francis looking for a loose puck against Benoit Hogue, but Hogue comes up with it and skates out to center. With Brian Mullen, he'll dump it in, and Thomas gives chase. Ulf Samuelsson there for the Penguins. He's checked by Mullen, who was tripped up behind the goal. Chance for Francis to get it ahead. Does to Daniels. There's Jagr on right wing. Forgot the puck. Now sliding it in on Healy, and he clears it ahead to Thomas. Rink wide for Hogue. I think the Islanders want to make a change here. They can't get it past Samuelsson, who sends it back down into the New York zone. Cleared ahead past Mullen, and it's Samuelsson. Stevens, Lemieux, and Tocchet on the ice for Pittsburgh, and now the Islanders will complete their change as they get Fitzgerald, Loiselle out there along with Dalgarno. And there's a big collision at the whistle, and it's Stevens who's slow to get up.
He isn't getting up at all. And he's been cut. The hit came a split second after the whistle for the icing. Now Mario is behind, and he, as we look at this, is motioning very animatedly toward the door leading to the Pittsburgh dressing room, and a gentleman coming out who could be the team doctor. There's the hit, and down goes Stevens, and he has been hurt. And Lemieux, the minute that Mario got there, he quickly turned and made the motion toward the door, the aisleway. Now take a look at it here. Stevens getting ready, making the hit, and you see he turns his head right there on the collision with Pilon, and down he lands face first. Stevens is up a little bit, but not much. And he is in a lot of trouble. Now Rich Pilon was the other half of that collision. Big guy out of Saskatoon.
He was just rounding into form in the last couple of games. The Penguins really enthused about the way he was bouncing back, a 55-goal scorer this season, and the fans saluting Kevin Stevens. And we hope he's all right.
Well, a lot of this precautionary, of course, it always is. The first person who knew he was in serious trouble was Mario. And much distress being shown by all here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. As one of the top players on the team, indeed one of the top players in all of hockey, suffers an injury that results in him being taken from the ice on a stretcher.
Well, the Stevens injury coming at 4 minutes 50 seconds into this first period. Remember at Buffalo, Dick, there was a lull after the Alexander McGillney injury for a couple of minutes. And then the Sabres seemed to respond quicker than the Canadians. Let's see what the injury does as far as the flow of this game. From the face-off, Penguins control. Loiselle forechecking, but it's out to Francis on left wing to Tocchet. Tocchet against Rich Pilon. Healy trying to clear it away. Pilon to the boards. Francis up with the puck. Mario's in front. Centering pass deflected wide. Mario tried to center it again, but it hit the back of the net. And the Islanders cleared past Ramsey and down the ice. So Pittsburgh goes to the attack after the injury to Stevens.
Mario could be in for a long night. Tom Fitzgerald went after him deep in the New York zone.
Kasparaitis missed Tocchet, but it's play whistle down and a penalty coming up against the Penguins.
Tocchet for that collision. The elbow is the call. Kasparaitis causing trouble again, drawing a penalty in this case. With Tocchet moving down the right side. Boy, he has become a pivotal player in this series. 20 years of age. And he draws the penalty. Now we see Pierre Turgeon on the ice. Here's the penalty call. Tocchet lets the puck go. He saw Kasparaitis after him. Got the elbow up. He gets the call. And Turgeon makes his first appearance in this series. So Tocchet's gone for the elbow, and Turgeon's on the ice. Pierre Turgeon, number 77. For the New York Islanders, 58 goals and 74 assists during the regular season. His 132 points tied him for 5th place overall in the NHL scoring. In the playoffs, he played 6 games against Washington at 4 goals and 4 assists. Missed only 1 game all season during the regular campaign. Has missed the 6 in the playoffs. But he's here tonight. They said they'd use him on the power play, Chris, and he gets his first chance right here.
He had 24 power play goals, and the Islanders need all the help they can get with the man advantage, although they were 2 for 4 in Game 6. They are 7 for 61 in the playoffs. Turgeon goes down in the corner. Here's Malakhov, shot wide. Comes out in front. Thomas can't get a shot away, and it's cleared. Tippett and Mullen are the penalty killers for the Penguins. 30 seconds gone in the Tocchet minor. Benoit Hogue clears it in. Turgeon, first man for the Islanders, but Barrasso off the glass. Malakhov kicks at it. Now Steve Thomas chasing it, but the Penguins get it outside the line. Here come the Islanders. Kurvers, who played an important role on the power play in game number 6. And Francis trying to send away Mario. He's in alone. Mario Lemieux off the post. Oh, what a chance for 66. Back come the Islanders. Dodging one there. Penguins have opened the scoring in 5 of the 6 games.
Perfectly timed pass, but it hit an Islanders player, really. Mario would have been offside. And it deflected to Lemieux. The post stopped him. What a lift that would have been for Pittsburgh.
We're 7 minutes into the first period at the Igloo. Shell Samuelson around the boards. Another funny hop off the glass, and here comes Tippett. Dave Tippett with 15 seconds left in the Tocchet minor. Dennis Vaske out for the Islanders. Here comes Ray Ferraro, the goal-scoring leader in the Stanley Cup playoffs with 12. Drops it for Krupp. And Rick Tocchet's back on the ice. Puck comes out in front, and back comes Pittsburgh. Troy Loney on the right wing. Uwe Krupp watching him. Centered in front, Healy down. Here's Shell Samuelson. His shot blocked. It flips high in the air. No one can find it. Penalty coming up against the Islanders. Barrasso out. And after killing a penalty, now we'll see Pittsburgh with the man advantage.
Well, the music from Jaws is playing, and the fans are into it as the Penguins get a power play chance here. First one.
Penguins 5 for 22 in this series with the man advantage. It's put in front. Healy down, and it slides just wide. Tocchet behind the goal to Mario Lemieux. Larry Murphy on 1 point. Samuelsson on the other. Ron Francis behind the net. Tocchet looking for the loose puck. Kasparaitis watching Francis. There's Tocchet to Lemieux. Back to Murphy and Lemieux. Shell Samuelsson shot. That was blocked in front by Kasparaitis and cleared by the Islanders. 40 seconds gone in the penalty. Ron Francis back in. Watched by Krupp, and the Islanders get it to center. Larry Murphy sends it deep in the zone. Chance for Francis. Kick aside by Healy. Murphy against the far boards. Comes free for Francis. Ron Francis cross ice. Lemieux in front. Great stop by Healy on a tic-tac-toe play to Rick Tocchet.
A dandy play and a dandy save. We've had our first report on Kevin Stevens. He is being tended by doctors right now for severe and deep cuts. 3 separate areas were affected: the eye, the mouth, and the forehead. There's been a lot of bleeding, and he is being administered to by 2 doctors. Here's that shorthanded chance for Mario a while back. He goes top shelf with that great wrist shot he has, and it was off the goal post.
So the Penguins have had their chances, but so far, Glenn Healy has been outstanding. 52 seconds left in this Penguin power play. Uwe Krupp can't backhand it out, but Fitzgerald does, and it's Ulf Samuelsson now out. Joe Mullen on the wing, watched by Krupp. Healy has it bounce over his stick. There's Jagr. Back to Murphy. Ulf Samuelsson. In behind the net, Jagr coming out in front at the side of the net. Healy was able to cover the short side. Jagr again. Mario to Murphy, shot right on. Healy's getting a good look at those shots from the point. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Lemieux to Murphy. Here's Murphy, back to Lemieux. Murphy shot. Healy was bumped in front. He's down. Puck centered, back to the point. Samuelsson shot. Healy makes the save. Jagr the rebound. Islanders holding on now as they return to full strength and trying to get a whistle. Krupp does. And Loiselle and Mullen buck. There's Kasparaitis.
Boy, that was big pressure on the power play. They were firing, a couple of close calls. And Glenn Healy, if he is the lowest paid goalie in the league, Chris, he also may be one of the shortest in the league. And he stood tall right there. We got penalties called here. After all of that going on, when the play came to an end, Kasparaitis is gone, Joe Mullen is gone. And again, we're going to have the 4-on-4 situation. And here's Kasparaitis. Bingo. Mullen gets the stick up the side of the head. I don't know if the original penalty had been called on the Islander defenseman before that, but they're both gone.
New York penalty, number 11.
Did somebody call a timeout here? All of the players are at the bench area.
Number 7, Joe
It's like there's been a timeout.
high sticking. Time of the penalty is 9:56. Kasparaitis.
So Kasparaitis gets a cross check, and Mullen for high sticking. I saw Kasparaitis go after Jagr. Maybe that's when he got the call. Anyway, you take your pick through all of that business, and the penalties were called.
Kasparaitis told his teammates prior to Game 6 he missed the Islander crowd chanting his name, so he went out to change that in Game 6. They won't be chanting his name tonight, but I think you'll hear it once in a while with and a few other comments strung along with it. Here's how Healy was tripped up, falling over Krupp in the goal crease.
11 shots for Pittsburgh in the first 10 minutes.
But still no score. Malakhov can't find it in his skates. It's pushed in front. Here's the backhand. McEachern stopped by Healy at the point. Ulf Samuelsson in deep. It's 4-on-4 again. Sean McEachern out with Ron Francis. Loiselle and Hogue for the Islanders. And it's been all Pittsburgh so far, but still no score. Now Malakhov comes up with it, and he'll skate out of the zone. On the right side for Benoit Hogue. He waits. Watched by Ulf Samuelsson. Cross-ice pass comes back outside the line. 9:20 to go, first period. Hogue to Thomas. He's stopped by Tippett. And now Ulf Samuelsson over to Shell Samuelsson. And he'll turn back with a minute to go in the coincidental minors to Mullen and Kasparaitis. Samuelsson to the line. Behind the net, Krupp around the boards for Thomas. Ramsey keeping it in. And here's Lemieux. Out in front, and he's poke-checked, has it again, backhand, big stop, Healy. Ramsey the shot. Healy got a piece of that. Ramsey in the corner. And now Krupp finally gets it for the Islanders.
Better play by Mario, taking advantage of a bad bounce that handcuffed the New York defense. And Healy to the rescue again.
It's been all Pittsburgh so far, or all Glenn Healy, depending on your perspective. 8:15 to go. Last few seconds of the coincidental minors as the Penguins circle in their own zone. Tocchet and Jagr, and now the two teams at full strength. Forechecking is Ray Ferraro. Ferraro in the corner. Trying to work it free. It goes loose to Larry Murphy, and now ahead to Tocchet. Out come the Penguins. Pass behind Jagr. At the line, Malakhov is down. And play whistled down at the line on an offside. 7 minutes, 42 seconds left in the first period. It's the Glenn Healy Show in Pittsburgh. The shots on goal, 13-2. Favor the Penguins, but still no score. And that shot total doesn't include Mario's shot off the goalpost. Derek King back for the Islanders. Out with Ray Ferraro and Steve Junker, the rookie. They made an assist change in Game 6 and gave Junker an assist, his first Stanley Cup point in his first NHL hockey game. That's 17 after it for the Islanders. The rookie out of Castlegar, who Al Arbour compares to Adam Graves. Chopped down is Jeff Daniels, and the crowd reacts, but Andy Van Hellemond allows play to continue. Tom Barrasso leaves it behind the net, stolen. Ferraro and Thomas, and Barrasso with his first big stop on a giveaway behind the Penguin net. Now Ferraro tripped up from his knees. In behind for Thomas. Brian Mullen in front. Back at the point. There's the shot. Kurvers has it blocked. Here's a 2-on-1. Mullen with Straka. Joe Mullen. And it's broken up nicely by Uwe Krupp. Now Steve Thomas feeds left wing to Brian Mullen. Brian Mullen for the Islanders. Tries to slide it through, and that's intercepted by brother Joe. And a shot right on Barrasso. And he'll hang on for a faceoff. Kevin Stevens was scheduled to be our first intermission guest tonight. And perhaps we'll be seeing Craig Patrick in his place.
A couple of times tonight, and you mentioned it, Chris, here just a moment ago when Barrasso had that first test in close. It came as a result of giveaways. The Penguins have been very shaky handling the puck whenever it has been in their end of the rink, and it hasn't been there all that much, as the shots would show you. 13-5. This is reminiscent of last night in St. Louis. The Leafs starting so strongly and dominating things. Ray Ferraro without the helmet. And somewhere in there, I guess, is Pierre Turgeon. We have seen him only once on a power play. And we've seen Mario a lot more than once. Speaking of big guns.
6:01 to go, first period here at the Igloo. Fitzgerald, Loiselle, and Dalgarno up front for the Islanders. And they win the draw. Pilon puts it right on goal. Soft shot looking for a deflection. And out comes Pittsburgh. For what the Islanders were commenting on today. When you take a shot on goal against Pittsburgh, make sure it's on goal, because if you miss on the far side and it goes around the boards, it can often result in a Penguin break the other way. And the puck chopped into the Islander bench.
We saw a few moments ago the Penguin leaders in this series. Take a look now through 6 games here. Ray Ferraro and Derek King are the key men up front offensively. And Rich Pilon playing very well, and even though he's out against the big line and has been, he's +3 in the plus-minus department. Now with Stevens gone, Sean McEachran takes over on the left wing on the line with Lemieux and Tocchet.
He's number 15 as again the puck goes out of play.
Coaches always flip the puck into the crowd. Scotty just gave somebody in the front row in behind the bench a souvenir.
You mentioned McEachran. They're looking for more offense from him. Scoreless in his last 8 games. Had a terrific start to this season with 19 goals in the first half of the year. The puck goes over the glass again.
Yes, he's been a bit of a disappointment. Last year he came up into the playoffs out of the Olympics and all of that, was very strong. But in this series, certainly he hasn't done very much. This young man has. Darius Kasparaitis, 20 years of age, and holding court today for a long time with an informal news conference after the Islanders' morning skate. Handles the English language very well.
He was saying, nobody says anything when I hit Martin Straka. Why can't I hit Mario Lemieux?
Wide open game. We've had 20 shots on goal in the first 14.5 minutes. Most of them, however, of course, taken by the Penguins.
Some of the Islander officials were recounting an earlier game this year, which Kasparaitis drove Mario crazy enough that Lemieux took a couple of stick foul penalties in the game, trying to retaliate against Kasparaitis.
Of course, it's too early to tell if we're going to have a very low-scoring game here tonight. But to take a look at the stats so far in the final scores in this series, twice the Penguins scored 5 goals and lost. That's not Scotty Bowman-style defensive hockey. And they were very poor in behind their own blue line 2 nights ago at the Coliseum.
Pace of this one has slowed down after a torrid start by the Penguins. Here's a chance in front. Benoit Hogue had his weak shot blocked. And now Francis turns. Ron Francis to center to Jagr, and he can't get across the line. Healy into the corner. Hogue bumping Francis. Jeff Daniels after it for Pittsburgh. Puck cleared up on the left wing, and Brian Mullen's at center. Mullen with Steve Thomas breaking. Thomas chopping at it right on. 12 of the 29 Islanders shots in Game 6 came off the stick of either Mullen or Thomas. Here's Jagr now on the backhand. Sweeping in. Jagr back to the point. Grant Jennings in front. Great stop, Healy. Oh, what a save off Mario. Jennings didn't intend it as a pass, but it was right on his stick. Here's Lemieux. Side of the net. Chopped away by Kurvers. Slides outside the line. Lemieux's had at least 3 great scoring chances already. And this is the danger of Game 7, Dick. You can run into a hot goaltender.
And so far, the Penguins have done just that. Whistle goes, 3:57 left. First period. The Penguins hope to keep the pressure up. So far, it hasn't done them any good.
Penguins controlling the face-off. Murphy flipping it in. Healy down again. Mullen. Here's a shot by Ramsey, and that was stopped by Healy again. 17-7, the shots on goal. Mullen to Tocchet on right wing. Kasparaitis is there. He's hit by Tocchet. Larry Murphy at center. Ahead to Mullen. Sliding deep for Dalgarno. Off the boards and out to center. Penguins make a change as Kasparaitis goes back to get it. Flipping it out to center. Mike Needham just missed Loiselle with a hit. Now it's flipped to the line. And Rich Pilon comes up with it for the Islanders. Chopped in by David Volek. Ray Ferraro back out there. He forechecks on the near side. Derek King. Here's King the shot. That was blocked. Ferraro behind the goal. Checked by Murphy. Needham gets it out to center ice. Under 3 minutes to go. First period. Still no score. David Volek leaves it for King. 38 goals regular season. Derek King can't get the rebound off the backboards. Cleared ahead by Tippett. Loney couldn't control it. And now the Islanders get possession. Tom Kurvers sends it in. Kurvers involved in 2 Game 7 situations with New Jersey in 1988. 1-1 against Washington. Lost the next round, the Wales Conference Final against Boston in Game 7. Malakhov in his own zone. Around the boards, there's Jagr. He's bumped from behind by Thomas. Penalty coming up against Steve Thomas of the Islanders. With exactly 2 minutes to go in the first period, Thomas gets 2.
Well, the momentum means anything, and those of us in the broadcast booth often say it does. The Penguins have a chance to pick it up again. They've had most of it in this period. Jagr and Thomas along the boards near side. Thomas drilled him from behind. It's a charging call by the look of that signal given by Andy Van Hellemond. Here you see it right there. And the Penguins get another power play chance. You talk about confidence. I don't know how the Montreal Canadiens feel as they look ahead and think of playing Pittsburgh, although take your pick, fellas, the way this game's going right now, or how New Jersey felt. But the New York Islanders don't lack for confidence. These teams have played 12 times in this hockey year, in the regular season and in the playoffs. And the Islanders have won 6 of them against the big, bad, mighty Stanley Cup defending Pittsburgh Penguins. Ray Ferraro in the middle of things, along with Daniels, who's tried to add some physical aggressiveness in his last couple of shifts. So the star of the show so far, Glenn Healy, in the nets.
Now told that it is a concussion that Stevens suffered, as well as those deep cuts. And the Islanders clear it down the ice. The power play, Lemieux, Tocchet, Francis, Murphy, and Shell Samuelson. And it's Samuelson to center. Cleared in by Tocchet. Healy out of the goal. Around the boards for Hogue. And it goes past Hogue and Larry Murphy. Out to center. Fitzgerald and Hogue are the penalty killers. They each have 2 short-handed goals in these playoffs as Francis tried to cut in. Triggered off the boards. Kept in by Mario. Lemieux takes the return feed from Larry Murphy. Waits to set up. Samuelson creeping in. Now down low past Tocchet. Tocchet in front. Francis reaching and pouncing on the loose puck. Glenn Healy again.
Patience shown there by Pittsburgh on the power play. Best chance, the last one. And somehow Tocchet couldn't handle it as it came out from the side of the net off the pass made by Ron Francis. No shots yet on this power play. Or is it the other way around? Tocchet to Francis, I'm sorry. Right there. That's what I meant to say. And the puck bounced and got away. And there's 1:07 left in the period and in the penalty, which was called at the 18-minute mark. Biggest game of his career. And he's as loose a goalie as I've seen the day of a big game, judging from the way he acts the morning skate.
Penguins get it back to Samuelson. Under 1 minute to go now in both the period and the penalty. Joe Mullen working against Malakhov. Here's Murphy trying to get in front. Mario Lemieux, and he was checked by Brian Mullen. And we've got another injured Penguin down in this near corner.
I can't see who it is. There.
Jagr.
Jagr, yeah. Well, he's lost his helmet, his gloves, his stick.
And the linesmen are now conferring with Andy Van Hellemond.
Very close to the spot where Kevin Stevens suffered his injury, which has now been diagnosed, we are told, as a concussion.
Here's the high stick that Jagr took.
And there he's middle of the screen here, we're told. Keep your eye on it. And as you're watching this, and the reason for Jagr being shaken up. He leaves the ice and has now gone to the Penguins room, as you see there briefly.
That was Steve Junker who got his stick up on Jagr. And the Islanders may have gotten away with one there. Final minute. First period in Game 7 of this Patrick Final, awaiting the first goal of the game. And the Penguins still on the power play as they hit the line. Joe Mullen shoots. Healy can't find the rebound. Tocchet gets it back to Murphy. Ron Francis. Mario Lemieux. Cross ice pass. Mullen, what a stop. Healy again. 19th shot on goal. Islanders will try to clear it. Kept in by Francis and now slid down the ice, and that will do it for the first period. All Penguins, all Glenn Healy.
Well, exactly, Chris. What a performance by the Islanders goaltender, and one of the biggest saves he made of all was right at the end of the period to prevent the Penguins from getting the big lift going into the dressing room, as we like to say. So goaltending foiling the home team here in Pittsburgh. That's why it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. There's Mario's ice time, first period, just over half the period.
We also had a clock on Pierre Turgeon, but he just played on the one power play for 1:22. Kasparaitis for the Islanders off the boards, past Ramsey and down the ice. Second period, scoreless tie here in Game 7. 2 years ago, the Penguins won the Patrick in 5 games against Washington. Last year in 6 against the New York Rangers. Hoping to win this one in 7 against the Islanders. Ulf Samuelsson at center ice. Islanders haven't been to the conference finals since they went all the way to the Stanley Cup final, losing to the Oilers in 1984. Here's Kjell Samuelsson flipping it into the Islanders zone, and Rich Pilon has it. Off the board, Samuelsson pinched in, and it went by him all the way down. Murphy will go back to touch it, and an icing call just over a minute into the second period.
Before tonight, the most shots the Penguins had in one period in this series was 13. They had 19 in the first period. And the big chance for Mario, as he played over half, was on the breakaway shorthanded when he hit the goal post. And he is doing a little bit of coaching on the bench, and there is Pierre Turgeon in action after missing the first 6 games because of the shoulder injury suffered in the controversial Dale Hunter case. Just the one appearance on the ice on a power play.
He didn't fly in with the Islanders yesterday. They made their way to Pittsburgh in the afternoon. Turgeon flew in at night as Healy gloves that shot down.
A nice chat with Gilles Meloche, a goaltender who himself put an end to a Stanley Cup streak with the Minnesota North Stars in 1980 when they defeated the Montreal Canadiens, who were going for 5. We take a look at Healy taking the save here off Kjell Samuelsson. Gilles says he's a good stand-up goalie, plays the angles right, and is playing tonight, to paraphrase Harry when he talked about Curtis Joseph one night. I wonder if he get a legitimate goal.
Kicked out again by Healy. And Malakhov skates out for the Islanders. His pass for Ferraro bounced right in on Barrasso, and the Penguins clear it out. Dennis Vaske in his own zone. Ahead it goes. And broke it up by the Penguins, sliding down into the Pittsburgh zone. Ferraro forechecking for the Islanders. Mullen takes a bump from Derek King. King tried to put it in front. Barrasso down, and Mullen at the side of the net up with it. Lead pass for Loney, and Malakhov cut it off and sends it back into the Pittsburgh zone. Kjell Samuelsson around the boards. Loney has it hop over his stick to tip it. Now Loney follows up. Mullen, the right winger on this line, and Thomas gets it ahead. Here's Ferraro with some room. Ray Ferraro cutting in, back pass. King, shot blocked by Samuelsson, and Barrasso quickly out to knock it away. Ferraro keeps it in for the Islanders. Better jump for the Islanders early in the second. Uwe Krupp walking in. Krupp looking to center. Knocked away by Barrasso. Penalty coming up against Pittsburgh. Ferraro watched by Tippett. Gets it to Thomas. Thomas to the point. Kurvers shot off an ankle. Ferraro in the corner. He's tied up. And Andy Van Hellemond whistles play dead. And will call a holding penalty against the Penguins.
So Van Hellemond caught something in all of that. Good pressure by New York. They didn't have all that much pressure in the first period with only the 7 shots. And it's going to be, it looks like, a rather surprised-looking Dave Tippett who goes to the box.
Pittsburgh penalty, number 14, Dave Tippett, 2 minutes for holding the stick. Time of the penalty, 2:32.
Okay. Holding the stick is the call. Tippett against Ferraro, perhaps, in the corner. He looks around. The call has been made. I don't know if that was the exact time. I don't think it was. No, because the arm had been up before then. In any event, somewhere along the way, Dave Tippett gets spotted. And here's Turgeon again, Chris. Lined up on the left side for this faceoff.
There's 77. Out with Hogue. Who will take this face-off. And Derek King, Malakhov, and Kurvers, the point man. Mario Lemieux and Ron Francis, the penalty killer. Early second period. And Tom Kurvers drills it in. With Turgeon, they carry that puck in, but they're back to the style they've tried to employ without Turgeon of sending it in. Here's another breakaway pass for Lemieux. Thought he had Francis with him and dropped it back. And Turgeon starts back for the Islanders. That's broken up by Francis. Mario was really off stride there. Didn't have a lot of speed and perhaps didn't think he could beat the defenseman that way. Now he'll try against Malakhov. Lemieux in. Shot kicked aside by Healy. And Steve Thomas turns back. Fires it in. Benoit Hogue after it. Tocchet chopped at it. Thomas has it. Krupp gets it across. There's the shot right on. Rebound knocked wide. Krupp again. Backhands it behind the net. Turgeon waiting for it. Steve Thomas up with it. Puck knocked down by King. Dennis Vaske, right point, his shot. That goes off Samuelson to the boards, and Tocchet clears it and hit Vaske again. He'll keep it in, and now sent out to center with 30 seconds to go in the power play. Vaske turns away from a Tocchet hit. And Dennis Vaske gets it to Krupp. He sends it in. Derek King after it. And it's over the glass, out of play, 15 seconds to go in the man advantage.
Maybe just as well it went over the glass. Pittsburgh tried to change the defense, but they couldn't get it done, and the tired defense had to go back into the zone. Then the puck was cleared out of play. Turgeon, bad shoulder. Guess who? Both Samuelson up high on him. And that play to the side of the Pittsburgh net. So I guess it will be power play only for Pierre Turgeon, who did work out with the team this morning, as Chris mentioned, but also 2 days ago, the morning of the game in Long Island, game 6. But he didn't suit up for that one. Tom Barrasso, not too busy in this one. Danger there for a goaltender sometimes. Not in the game all that much, as was the case in the first period, but he's had a little more to face and a lot more action close in here in the second period.
Kasparaitis at the point. Seconds ticking away on this power play. Ferraro against Larry Murphy. It's worked free by Francis out to center. Lemieux looking for it. Kasparaitis had that one come up and hit him near the face. And now Dave Tippett back on the ice. Ferraro hit by Ramsey. And an offside called. Welcome back to the Civic Center in Pittsburgh. Chris Cuthbert, Dick Irvin, Scott Russell, and the Hockey Night in Canada crew. Still scoreless. 5 minutes into the second period of Game 7 in this Patrick final. Puck cleared off the boards. Mike Needham on the ice for the Penguins. Kept in at the point. Vukota's shot over the glove of Barrasso. Turgeon now out first time and even strengthened the hockey game. And cleared back in by the Islanders. A fourth line for the Islanders with Pierre Turgeon. Volek clears it behind Barrasso. He wraps it around the boards, kept in by Vaske. Turgeon awaiting it. Shell Samuelson on him. Vukota hammers his man into the boards. And Mike Needham starts back for the Penguins at center. Needham with Troy Loney. Malakhov watching him. Here's a chance for Straka. The shot, the net knocked ajar, and another penalty perhaps. Andy Van Hellemond talking to Glenn Healy, and let's see if he makes a call.
Hard to tell exactly what he's calling through all of that. The net gets knocked askew. Malakhov has gone to the penalty box area, and he's the only one. So the Penguins, who have just killed the penalty to tip it, now get their power play opportunity here.
Number 23, Vladimir Malakhov, 2 minutes for interference.
So it's an interference call.
5:46. Malakhov, 2 for interference at 5:46.
19 shots for Pittsburgh in the first period, but through the first 5 minutes and 46 seconds here in the second period, they've had just 2. Now they get a power play opportunity to start turning things around. Bodies were falling. The net was knocked off. All of this around the New York goal crease. And Malakhov, just at the bottom of your screen there, gets called. And the Penguins get the power play.
Penguins had 2 advantages in the first period and failed to capitalize. Francis, Lemieux, Mullen, Murphy, and Ulf Samuelsson. Out now. Krupp can't clear it. Murphy keeps it in. Lemieux. Benoit, Hogue, and Fitzgerald again the penalty killers for the Islanders. Lemieux. Nice pass to Samuelsson. Shot. Francis deflected it wide. Murphy in behind the goal. Pilon got a stick on it. It goes to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux. Now Murphy takes the shot. Healy the save. Rebound. Mario's backhand. Off a skate to the corner. Fitzgerald down in the corner. Pilon trying to tie it up there. Lemieux brings it loose. Fitzgerald diving. Deflects it out to center. Ron Francis flipping it back in. 1 minute to go in the Penguin power play. It's worked free by Murphy. Centered. Healy got a stick on it. And here's Fitzgerald. He'll skate out. Hogue cruising. And it's off his skate near the line. Benoit Hogue was almost in alone, and an offside called at the Penguin line.
Oh, you're right, Chris. Hogue would have been in all by himself if that pass had been on the mark. A lot of big buildings in downtown Pittsburgh. The tallest of all is the U.S. Steel building. Here it is live. Now notice it's got the Penguin logo and Go Pens Go. The lighting that's been that way all through the playoffs. I think that's super. But I can tell you this also, 10 or 12 years ago, 95% of the several thousand people who work in that building didn't know that the Pittsburgh Penguins were playing hockey just up the street. This franchise was such a well-kept secret of this city until Eddie Johnston drafted a guy called Mario in 1984. Then it changed, and they started to light up the lights.
Haven't lit the red lamp yet tonight. Trying to change that on the power play with 33 seconds remaining in the Malakhov minor. Kept in at the line by Samuelsson. He took a hit, and now the Islanders get it out with Brian Mullen at center. Working against Murphy. Mullen goes down as he tries a centering pass. And quickly out to Tocchet with Jagr. Last seconds of the power play. Jagr, Lemieux, shot, rebound, and Healy comes up big again. Mario now with at least 5 chances in the game. And the Islanders back at full strength. Samuelsson at the point. In deep for Lemieux. He centers it. Samuelsson shot, scores!
It got through somehow. The Islanders had just finished doing a dandy job of killing the penalty, keeping the Penguins to the outside. But when they got back to full strength, Pittsburgh had a couple of chances. First, Mario on the pass from Jagr. That was a save by Healy, but he couldn't stop this one. He might have been screened by Dennis Vaske, standing in front of him. As the puck comes back and Samuelsson pitches in from the left point, and somehow the puck gets through that big crowd. Right here, does Healy see it all the way? It deflects off him and then inside the post. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
I think that went off Vaske's skate.
Yeah, he was right in front of him, Chris. You're right. Hard to tell there.
If it goes to Samuelsson, it's his first of the playoffs. And the Penguins get the icebreaker at 7:59 second period. Islanders flip it back out to center. When we talked to the Islanders this morning, they said when the Penguins score one, we have to limit it to one. We can't allow them to score in rapid fire as they did in Game 5. Here's David Volek and a 2-on-1 Islanders with King. Volek to King in front. Barrasso snares the bouncing puck.
Big chance for the Islanders. Mike Ramsey caught up ice. I don't think that King made contact with the puck as it bounced through to Barrasso.
First goal of the game, Ulf Samuelsson from Mario Lemieux and Kjell Samuelsson at 7:59. First goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs for Ulf Samuelsson, his old junior teammate in Sweden, Thomas Sandstrom, into the Final Four with the Los Angeles Kings. Congratulations to Barry Melrose and the Kings on winning the Smythe Division and heading into the conference final on the Campbell side. So 2 of the Final Four have been decided. Jacques Demers and the Canadiens watching this one with great interest, I'm sure. Steve Thomas at center. His pass intercepted by Jagr, who lost it. Loiselle looking for it. He goes after it. Thomas takes Taglianetti into the boards hard. And back comes Tocchet with Jagr. Jaromir Jagr dropping it off for Lemieux, and Tocchet with the shot high. Great setup for Tocchet in the slot. And the Islanders clear it.
Healy waved at that one. He missed it, but the puck missed the net.
10:10 to go, second period. Here's Dalgarno in front off his skate. Kept in by Kasparaitis. Benoit Hogue in the corner for the Islanders. He beats Kasparaitis on the right wing. Chance, and a shot goes high off Dalgarno's stick. Kasparaitis keeps it in again. Tocchet checking in. Hogue shot off his skate. And now Larry Murphy for the Penguins ahead to Troy Loney. 3-on-2 with Tocchet. Here's Rick Tocchet with the shot off a leg to the corner. Pilon reaching for it. And the Islanders come up with it and get it ahead to Brian Mullen. Mullen checked it center by Loney. Kjell Samuelsson. His pass broken up. And Mullen backhands it into the Penguin zone. Kept in by Kurvers. Far side. Benoit Hogue. Kings in front. Volek bumped behind the goal. And the Pittsburgh Penguins come out with it. 1-0 Pittsburgh in Game 7 of the Patrick Final. Uwe Krupp hitting the Pittsburgh line. Taglianetti takes him down. Volek against the boards. Francis for the Penguins. Out to center ice. Here's Joe Mullen loose. Mullen down right wing and couldn't get the shot away. Jeff Daniels for the Penguins. Couldn't control it. And Ferraro turns back. Mullen bumps in. Ferraro clears it ahead on left wing to King. He's bumped by Taglianetti. Things starting to open up a bit with 8.5 minutes to go in the second period. Both teams making changes. Vaske ahead to King. Back to Vaske as the Islanders complete their change. Dalgarno comes back out on the ice and takes the pass at center. Mike Ramsey comes across. Up to Mario Lemieux. On the right wing for Tocchet. Rick Tocchet to Lemieux. Larry Murphy with Lemieux. Cross ice. Tocchet shot. And it's under Healy. And he wasn't sure. Rick Tocchet with some great chances here in the second period. Ulf Samuelsson, the lone goal scorer so far here in the second period. And the Penguins with the lead. Loney, watched by Kasparaitis. Fitzgerald's got Jagr tied up. Jagr reaching for it, bumped by Kasparaitis. Now Loney there again as the scrum continues in that corner. Look at Jagr trying to fend off Kasparaitis. Here's a chance for Loney sweeping in front, knocked the net ajar. And Andy Van Hellemond lets Glenn Healy put it back on the peg, so play continues.
Boy, Rich Pilon did a terrific job there on Dave Tippett at the side of the net to prevent him from getting the puck with the net wide open in front of him.
Lead pass for Jagr. Healy playing it. And Pierre Turgeon's back on the ice. Even strength for the Islanders.
He's pretty well taken a regular shift from about the 3 or 4 minute mark here in this period.
Lead pass behind Mullen. Sliding down, Murphy goes back to get it. Nice pass to Francis. And Joe Mullen. That's Scotty Bowman, or guys that are extra valuable in Game 7 situations. And the first two he mentioned, Mullen and Francis. A couple of great veterans. I think 66 is a given. Kurvers and Krupp work it out to center. Mullen deflecting it into the Pittsburgh zone. Thomas forechecking, bumped off the puck. And out comes Jeff Daniels. He'll flip it down into the Islanders zone as Pittsburgh makes a change. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Second period, 1-0 Penguins. On a goal by Ulf Samuelsson, his first of these playoffs.
I don't know if that's going to count as a shot. The Islanders have had only 2 shots in this period.
25-9 overall.
But it's still only 1-0, Chris. Interesting story there.
Dennis Vaske right in front of his net. And out comes Claude Loiselle. With Fitzgerald and Dalgarno digging deep for the Islanders against Samuelsson. Fitzgerald in after it as well. Knocked behind the goal. And Rick Tocchet can't clear it. Loiselle shot on goal. And Barrasso won't take any chances with Dalgarno in the neighborhood.
Last shift, Kasparaitis going after 68 rather than 66, as he did with regularity 2 nights ago. Quite a battle along the boards right here. We haven't had all that much hockey of this type in this game. In the second period, the Islanders did a good job forcing that type of play when they were shorthanded, but right after they killed the penalty, Samuelsson got the goal.
From the face-off, Penguins able to clear it off the glass. And Krupp going back for it. Lead pass Ferraro. Ferraro hasn't really been able to get loose so far tonight. Now in the zone, Ramsey covers him quickly. Volek forechecking, but Larry Murphy has it. And the 32-year-old defenseman hands it off to Tippett. Dave Tippett looking for his first Stanley Cup championship. Ferraro in the corner against Tippett. And play whistle down. 4:50 to go here in the second period. And then lone goal by Ulf Samuelsson. The Penguins were criticized for being loose in their own zone in Game 6, but they've been pretty well airtight tonight, allowing just 10 Islander shots on Tom Barrasso. At the point, puck cleared into the corner, and Kasparaitis out to center ice. Checked by Francis, gets it back again to Fitzgerald. Ahead to Thomas. Hogue is breaking for the net. In front to Hogue, and he was bumped off the play on a good defensive play by Jeff Daniels. Jagr and Francis come out to center and clear it in on Healy. Healy hands it off to Rich Pilon. Pierre Turgeon back on the ice. Playing with a little more confidence with that injured shoulder in the second period. Kasparaitis rink wide, too far for Thomas, sliding in on Barrasso, who plays it for Mike Ramsey. With 4 minutes to go, second period. 1-0. And an offside called at the Penguin line.
Expect a lot of offense from Pittsburgh, of course. You take a look at the shots on goal situation through the first 6 games. With a slight edge. This is before tonight when they outshot the Islanders 19-7 in the first period. But the Islanders' big period has been the second. It's not that way tonight. With just 3:56 left in the period, Tom Barrasso has had to make just 4 saves. And this guy's had to make a lot more. He stopped 24 of 25. But only 6-3 rather, the shots on goal here in this second period. Far cry from the first.
At center ice, Loiselle and Shel Samuelsson, and Andy Van Hellemond in on that check, and Andy holds it from face-off against the boards. 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go in the second period. Still 1-0 for Pittsburgh. Fitzgerald and Loiselle now clearing it into the corner. Dalgarno against the boards. Backhands it deep into the zone. There's Loiselle after it against Lemieux, and Lemieux takes Loiselle to the boards. That's an ongoing feud. And back into the Islander zone for Malakhov. Around the boards and out to center. And the puck flipped over the glass, and not much flow to this second period, which you'd think would favor the Islanders, but they are down by a goal.
Take a look at that Patrick facts. This is the last game that will ever be played in the Patrick division. And you see the Penguins haven't had much luck when it comes to deciding games. The series hanging on the balance. And the Islanders have won all 6 prior to tonight. Yeah, this is the last game in the Patrick division. The Adams is finished. The Spike is finished. Only the Norris remains tomorrow night with the big one in Toronto. And then the names will be changed to protect the innocent next year.
I know Steve Thomas said he was glad that the Penguins wouldn't be in the Islanders division next year, but it doesn't really matter with the new conference setup. The Islanders could face the Penguins in the first round of the playoffs next year. Conceivably. Ferraro up against the boards, forechecking. Taglianetti there for Pittsburgh. Derek King now for the Islanders. Dave Tippett for the Penguins. Volek forechecking, brings it loose. Ferraro shot. That went off Samuelson, who got a piece of it and deflected it over the glass out of play.
All right. Tom Barrasso did not know where that was, judging from his action and reaction to that situation. And you wonder with a guy like Ray Ferraro, when you're hot, you're hot. And he did what he had to do. He just fired the puck. Taglianetti had control of the puck along the boards before we pick up the replay here, and he lost it with a giveaway. Ends up here with Ferraro, who gets in the way of it. The defenseman sliding in front, and it deflects over the glass.
Ray Ferraro was telling us that the broken leg he suffered in December, very similar to the injury suffered by Alexander McGillney. And he said that if it is the same, it'll be 12 weeks before he's back. But McGillney should be encouraged by the way Ferraro came back off the injury. He's been terrific. Kasparaitis, long pass at center. Here's Benoit Hogue with Thomas. The drop pass. Thomas shot. Blocked by Ramsey. So the Penguin defenseman doing a good job. First Samuelson, now Ramsey, and here comes Pittsburgh. Jeff Daniels trying to scoot in. Healy kicks that aside, and Benoit Hogue ahead to Kasparaitis. Thomas on the right wing. Mullen on the left. And Kasparaitis was checked. Malakhov clubs it down and clears it back in.
Everybody yelling from the Penguins bench and some in the crowd. Maybe on that line change, Pittsburgh got too many men.
Giveaway, Hogue shot, Thomas, rebound, scores! Steve Thomas, we're tied late in the second.
Boy, the Penguins feel there should have been a whistle there. But it didn't happen. And these lively boards, the lively boards here in Pittsburgh, the puck comes right back out to Steve Thomas from in behind. And with Barrasso down, he made a good play, and we've got a tie hockey game. And this is an important time for the Islanders to score with a minute and a half left. There it comes off the boards, down low, straight to Thomas. He's waiting, he sees it, backhand, forehand, in. Barrasso had moved for the first shot that missed the net, and scrambled but couldn't get back. And it's tied 1-1. Only the 10th shot on goal for the Islanders.
18:28, the time of the goal. Thomas, his 6th of the playoffs. Benoit Hogue gets the assist. Thomas with 4 points in Game 6. Has the first Islander goal of Game 7. Even with just over a minute to go in the second period. Dick, I mentioned the similarities in Game 6 to the 1986 playoff between the Oilers and Flames. It's really taking on that pattern. Here's Derek King behind the goal. David Volek under a minute to go in the period. And the Penguins chop it out to center. That one tied at 1 in the third period, and then the freak goal. You worry about bad bounces offside the call against the Islanders. Hot goaltenders. You really roll the dice when you go to Game 7.
There's been a trend in this game through the last 4 or 5 minutes. The Islanders slowly getting a little better. Slowly getting a little closer. Now a further report on Kevin Stevens. In addition to the concussion, we understand he also suffered a broken nose. A goal again. Here's the turnaround shot that misses the net when you see Barrasso had gone down on one leg. Gets back, tries to get back across the crease, but a perfect rebound off the backboards. Right on the money with Thomas there. Right place, right time. Right move on the goalie. 1-1 the score.
40.9 seconds to go in the second period as Francis faces off with Fitzgerald. Kasparaitis calls for it and flips it in. Dalgarno forechecking. The defensive line out for the Islanders with Loiselle, Dalgarno, and Fitzgerald. Pilon and Kasparaitis on defense. They'd love to go to the dressing room tied 1-1. Don't want to allow a late goal. Here's Loiselle. Taken out by Samuelsson. Francis back in his own zone. As you see the seconds tick away in the second period, what a third is coming up in Game 7 of the Patrick Final. And they're even after 40 minutes.
Now the Montreal Canadiens are awaiting the winner, and with 20 minutes of regulation time ahead in this series, they don't know who it will be. A 1-1 tie. Healy's goaltending in the first period could loom very large when you look back on what finally happens in this one. Here we are on the 14th of May. It's a 1-1 tie. And do the Penguins have only one period of hockey ahead? Or are they going to advance as they try to three-peat, as the signs on the lamppost say, here in Pittsburgh?
Fans were on their feet to start the third period. The goal scorers, Ulf Samuelsson and Steve Thomas. Both goals coming in the second. And the puck flipped out to center for Fitzgerald of the Islanders. Cleared away by Barrasso. Loiselle on the ice with Dalgarno as well. Mario Lemieux, Rick Tocchet, and Jagr on the right wing for the Penguins. Jagr playing with Lemieux more tonight because of the injury to Stevens. Jagr trying to go all the way and was stopped by the Islanders, who clear it down the ice. This will be icing as Murphy goes back to touch it.
Kevin Stevens with a first period injury, has a concussion and a broken nose.
All Penguins in the first period, except no scoring. 19-7. The shots on goal. Glenn Healy was splendid. Samuelsson opened the scoring, but Steve Thomas late in that second period, and despite the territorial advantage, Thomas has the Islanders at even here in the third with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Penguins team defense fell down. Nobody around Thomas. Forwards weren't in deep. And the rebound came off the backboards right onto his stick. And he threw it home and behind a sprawling Tom Barrasso to tie the game. A minute and a half to go in that period. Big lift time for New York. It started to come on as that period wore down. You know, you get a feeling, you wonder, you see teams that dominate, but can't score enough to open up a big lead. Things start to change.
Penguins control from that face-off. Healy wraps it around. There's Loiselle and Ron Francis. Samuelsson clears it back in. Jeff Daniels, the rookie for the Penguins, tries to center, and it's out now to Steve Thomas as the Islanders come to center. Loiselle flips it in. He'll head to the bench. Thomas Hogue up front, and now Brian Mullen will join this line for the Islanders. He flips it ahead, broken up by Pittsburgh. And Hogue goes back to get it. And a two-line pass received by Mullen, and play whistle down. Puck cleared around the point, kept in by Murphy. Here's a chance for Needham. That's knocked down in front. Needham after it again. Healy sprawls, and he covers up to hold on.
It'll be interesting what Al Arbour elects to do here in this period. And Scotty Bowman likewise. You heard Carol Vadnais talking about the power of the Penguins, the scoring ability, the big guns. And Natalie is here, and we understand that the baby daughter is here. Now, I don't, maybe, I'm not in a seat, certainly not in a standing room. Anyway, somewhere in the arena is Mario's baby.
Lorne Rachel Lemieux. He was proudly talking about her prior to Game 6. She's weighing in just over 8 pounds now. Here's Lemieux from the face-off circle. Healy misplayed it for a moment, but covers up.
Well, so far in this series, that the Islanders, when they won games, the average was like you see 1.3, and then the Penguins and the Islanders, the average goals per game in this series. But this looks like Toronto-St. Louis time, with a 1-1 tie here early in this third period. The Penguins with 1 goal on 27 shots. The Islanders with 1 goal on 11 shots. Glenn Healy, obviously the story here tonight. Mario had 5 shots through the first 2 periods.
Penguins control the draw. Murphy's shot comes into the slot. There's Lemieux fighting off one check. Back to Ramsey. Here's the shot, and it went right through on Healy, who kicked it away. Healy now tries to kick it again. Mullen looks for the loose puck, and the Islanders a little fortunate to clear that. Ramsey sends it back in, so Pittsburgh starting the third strongly now. Mullen looking to center, hit the back of the net, gets it again. Joe Mullen out in front through the goal crease. And the Islanders are able to carry it out to center. Dalgarno ahead to Loiselle. Mullen checking at him from behind. Loiselle shot bouncing wide. Mike Ramsey back out for Pittsburgh. At the line, broke it up by Dennis Vaske. Now Shell Samuelson. And here's Derek King picking up a loose puck. King drops it off. David Volek shot. Blocker save, rebound. And it's tapped away by Samuelson. Now Samuelson feeds it ahead to Tocchet. Martin Straka on the ice. Jagr on the far wing with Straka as they hit the line. Jagr checked by Ferraro. Stays with it. Puts it across ice. Samuelson takes the shot. Healy down. And again, the Islanders able to clear. But some anxious moments in front of Glenn Healy here early in the third. We've played 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Derek King outside the line, now flips it in. King heads to the bench and Ferraro forechecks. Ray Ferraro tying it up in the corner. He'd like to get a whistle. Dave Tippett is knocked down. And now out on left wing, Mike Needham. Seeing more ice in this third period. Needham, a Calgary native and a former Kamloops junior. But Uwe Krupp on the move. Out to center for Brian Mullen. Mullen can't get across the line. Krupp clears it in. Needham on the right wing. Flips it out to center, and Tom Kurvers is there. Fans chanting at the Civic Arena, trying to exhort the Penguins to the go-ahead goal. Islanders making a change as Pilon clears it in.
And another squawk from the Pittsburgh bench about the Islanders having too many men.
Mario Lemieux and Pilon looking for the loose puck. Loney drops it for Lemieux in front. And Needham just deflected it wide. What a great pass by 66. Now the Islanders break out 4 of them to center. Here's Kasparaitis with Thomas. Brian Mullen's in the slot. Kasparaitis backhands it, and he slid it well wide. Mario Lemieux can't get it by Hogue. Now they backhand it out, and the Penguins will make a change. Malakhov in his own zone. Mullen out, Lemieux stays out with Ron Francis. So they'll double up the ice time for Mario, looking for the go-ahead goal. Here comes Vaske, 5 minutes gone, third period. Dalgarno forechecking, hits Samuelson. Fitzgerald looking for the loose puck, but out comes Ron Francis. Lemieux on his left, Mullen on his right. Dropping it off for Mario, in front for Mullen, sprawling for it against Loiselle. Fans react, but the Islanders come back. Fitzgerald to the line, checked by another 14, Dave Tippett. Islanders change. Samuelsson, lead pass broken up. Here's Jagr with Tippett. Shot, glove stop, Glenn Healy. Healy sharp again, this time the glove save on Dave Tippett. 5 minutes and 36 seconds gone. Third period, we're still tied at 1 in Game 7 of this Patrick final, 30-12. Shots on goal, and Tippett wins the draw, and it goes right back in on Glenn Healy.
After Game 6 2 nights ago at the Nassau Coliseum, several hundred fans out in the lobby after the game were lined up for tickets to the next series, which they announced were going on sale. Well, because of Glenn Healy, they've still got hopes they might see some more hockey down there. A turnover in the neutral zone by the Islanders. Jagr picked it up, set up Tippett, who shot from fairly well out, but had lots on it. And Healy, the star of this game so far, made the glove grab.
Lemieux, Jagr, Tocchet for the Penguins. Krupp watching Jagr. Fitzgerald in the corner, hit by Tocchet. Jagr has it. Bodied by Krupp. Jagr tough to move off that puck. Krupp 6'6", 240 pounds. Here's Lemieux. And it's out in front. David Volek will start back. Ferraro with him. 2-on-2 break for the New York Islanders. Dropping it for Volek. Shot, scores! David Volek! Islanders lead.
Did they work that perfectly? And Volek snaps one short side on Tom Barrasso. And the Islanders, down 1-0 in the second period, have now gone ahead 2-1 at 6:10 here in the third. But a 2-on-2 executed perfectly. You see them practice things like this. Often they don't work. The two forwards against the two defensemen. The drop pass, and Volek from his off wing, right side, left-hand shot, snaps it home. And the New York Islanders are 13 minutes and 50 seconds away from a major upset. There it is. Volek from a fairly sharp angle on the nice drop backhand pass from Ray Ferraro. A basic 2 against 2. Deep in the Pittsburgh zone, 2-1 Islanders.
6:10 is the time of the goal. It's David Volek's first goal and first point of the playoffs. Ferraro and Fitzgerald get the assists at 6:10.
Interesting expression on Scotty Bowman's face here a moment ago as they took a shot at the Penguin coach in the wake of David Volek's go-ahead goal here in the third period. The last team to win the Stanley Cup as many as 3 years in a row, the Islanders. The coach was Al Arbour. 2 in a row here in Pittsburgh under first Bob Johnson, the late Bob Johnson, and then Scotty Bowman. Islanders are here to prevent 3.
Volek, an unlikely hero, just 8 goals during the regular season in 56 games. Here's a shot by McEachern over the crossbar. Ferraro shovels it ahead. King clears it into the Pittsburgh zone, and Volek's after it again against Ulf Samuelsson, the lone goal scorer tonight for Pittsburgh. Joe Mullen gives it to Samuelsson. Mullen after it, he's spun around deep in the zone. Francis in the corner as well, but it comes free for Derek King, the former Oshawa general. Can't get it by Samuelsson. He's headed to the bench on a line change. Kasparaitis is out with Pilon, Benoit, Hogue, Steve Thomas, Brian Mullen. Lead pass for Mullen. Gets to the red line and clears it in. Pittsburgh's got Mario Lemieux back out with Rick Tocchet and Dave Tippett, so a different combination here. And Mullen with the steal from behind the goal, fired it at Barrasso, and it deflects out to Tocchet with Lemieux. Here they come. And Dave Tippett, and he's tied up by Thomas. Good defensive play. Tocchet behind the goal. Kasparaitis is there, and down goes Tocchet. Thomas off the glass, pounds it down the ice. Larry Murphy back to touch it, icing the call. 12:10 to go, third period. David Volek with the go-ahead goal for the Islanders.
Rick Tocchet left of your screen, and Rich Pilon in the penalty box after the whistle went. There was a lot of milling about, there was a lot of talking, and they ended up with each with 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So, you look at the Penguins now, Chris. They're without Stevens, one of their big guns. We always talk about the Pittsburgh offense, the Pittsburgh power, the Pittsburgh goal-scoring ability. They got to pull it out now.
They like the 4-on-4 situation with Jagr and Lemieux up front. Loiselle and Fitzgerald, a couple of good defensive players for the Islanders. Here's Jagr. Lemieux winds up and the shot deflected. And Healy, cat-like quick, recovering off the backboards.
The last rush, Jagr and Lemieux. Jagr knocked down, but gets the pass over, and the puck deflected back off the backboards, the lively backboards here. Healy alertly made the grab and hung on. But Dasher here is very strong. A lot of the American rinks like Buffalo, the boards seem to give, the glass seems to give. But here in Pittsburgh, it's much more like, say, Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto or the Forum in Montreal.
Boy, this would be one of the biggest victories of Al Arbour's distinguished career. But it's a long way from over. 11:44 left. Francis and Lemieux up front. Penguins are 5-0 when facing elimination in the last 2 years, but against Al Arbour, they're 0-6 when facing elimination. Or when trying to finish the Islanders off. Of course, 4 of those were the 75 come from behind Islanders. The 4 victories went down 3-0 to Pittsburgh. Here's Francis. Lead pass off a skate, gets to Lemieux, and he clears it in. Kasparaitis first to get it. Shell Samuelson deep in the slot. Lemieux knocked away from him. Here come the Islanders. Thomas on a break with Hogue. Benoit Hogue can't get a shot away. Great defensive play by Samuelson. Here's a break the other way. Francis. Long shot. Glove stopped by Healy. Samuelson was catching up to make it a 2-on-1, but Francis shot from just inside the line. Hogue drifts one in, scores! Benoit Hogue through Tom Barrasso, 3-1, Islanders.
Chris, 1986, and a strange goal, an unexpected goal. You were talking about it, Calgary against Edmonton. This one on Tom Barrasso gives the Islanders a 2-goal lead near the halfway point. Hogue just lets it go. It hit the defenseman's stick, I do believe, if you look at that, and handcuffed Barrasso. From above the net, you'll see that it wasn't totally away from the goaltender, but he appeared to be off balance. Benoit Hogue lets it go right at the blue line. May have been deflected. You see it looks like it's dropping. And Barrasso touched it, but couldn't handle it cleanly. And Hogue's goal on the 4-on-4 situation. Yeah, right there. It goes off Murphy's stick. And that really gives it the old knuckleball treatment. And Barrasso couldn't handle it. Oh, 3 straight goals by the Islanders, who trailed 1-0 with less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. And it's 3-1 New York.
Looked like a Tim Wakefield knuckleball.
Yeah. Charlie Huff.
9:09, the time of the goal. Hogue's second of the series and his 4th of these playoffs. And this crowd sitting in stunned silence. 3-1 Islanders.
This is one of the quietest rinks in the league in any time of the year when the other team scores. But right now, it's like a tomb in here.
Malakhov and Healy get the assist. Here's Jagr. And Healy will cover up. So the goaltender, who has been so brilliant in the Islander net, picks up a point.
And in the corner, Dennis Vaske gives a little extra, not that much of a shove, but a little extra shot to Jagr. Well, you know, we talked about the 4-on-4, the open ice, and how it's made to measure for Pittsburgh with some of the guys they have out there. Well, the Islanders were the team that took advantage of it. Although taking advantage on a goal like that isn't quite taking full advantage of the skating situation. So here's the man of the moment. And now he has the luxury, if you want to call it that, of a 2-goal lead. And there's a picture that tells quite a story of the Penguins coach.
The wheels turning now. 10:17 to go. All those first period saves by Healy look so big now. But he'll be under siege before this one's over. Now the two teams returning to full strength as Tocchet comes out of the box along with Pilon, and Tocchet sends it right side. Larry Murphy shot right on, rebound! Another stop by Healy. Still loose, Straka can't find it. Jagr can't get a shot away. And Ferraro off the glass to center.
I think from now on we're going to see a lot of blue uniforms inside the blue team's blue line, like we saw right there on Jagr.
Larry Murphy to the line for Tocchet. Offside, and Tocchet thought he straddled the line and stayed onside. Two more big stops by Healy.
And that's like a recorded announcement, Chris, here tonight. And Tocchet's still upset about the call. All right, tomorrow night, another Game 7. Maple Leaf Gardens, the Leafs, and the St. Louis Blues, who stayed alive last night on home ice, coast to coast. 8 o'clock Eastern. Now, if the Islanders were to go on and win this game, they would then travel to Montreal. And the first game of the Wales Conference Final, 1 o'clock. If the Penguins come back to win it, the game will be played here at 1 o'clock. Sunday afternoon.
Well, the fans trying to get back in it and help the Penguins get back in it. At the line, and now it's Ulf Samuelsson clearing it in. Shell Samuelsson, right point, high shot. Dalgarno will try to clear, but Ulf Samuelsson's right on him and knocks him down. Loose puck for Mario Lemieux. Krupp intercepted the clearing, and Samuelsson tried to glove it with a bare hand, and it went past him down the ice. Samuelsson lost it to Mullen. Here's Steve Thomas turning. Thomas to Hogue. Shot blocked by Ramsey. Loose Mullen shot. That hit Ramsey. Mullen again shot. Hit the side of the net. Steve for Benoit, Hogue in the corner. Here's Brian Mullen shot blocked. Thomas shot blocked. The Islanders pounding away looking for another goal. And now back comes Pittsburgh. McEachern off the bench flipping it in. Brian Mullen against Ron Francis. Murphy didn't keep it in. Delayed offside, and now the Penguins clear it back in, and the Penguins touch up outside the line. Kasparaitis behind the goal. Quickly up on the right side it goes. Up ahead to Volek. He got that big second goal for the Islanders. David Volek forechecking against Murphy. 8 minutes, 4 seconds to go, third period, for one of the biggest upsets in Stanley Cup history. Could materialize here at the Civic Arena, but here come the Pens, and they're offside.
7:51 left in regulation time, and the Stanley Cup champs are on the verge of elimination.
Islanders trying to turn out the lights on the Penguins season and a run of 2 Stanley Cups in a row. Last team to win more than 2 in a row, the New York Islanders. Here's Volek, has a chance. Ferraro shot. Barrasso had to be sharp there. Volek again, side of the net. Barrasso with the save. So the Islanders are getting chances. Here come the Penguins. Jagr. Cross ice to Loney. Straka's in front too. Pinching in is Ramsey. Looking for his first Stanley Cup victory. You know, Ramsey wants this one. Murphy back in. Scrum against the boards. Larry Murphy knocked it free, but Kasparaitis has it. And they clear it down the ice.
The Islanders, it's not over yet, but they got a 2-goal lead with less than 7 minutes to play here against teams that were favored. 32-point difference. The way these teams finished the regular season. But again, we get back to the fact that they've beaten the Penguins 6 times this year.
Krupp. Fitzgerald chopped away by Murphy. Krupp following up. He's tied up. And Ramsey, last time he was close to a Stanley Cup was 1980 semifinals, and his Buffalo Sabres lost to the Islanders. So he does not have fond memories of this franchise, who are threatening to spoil his party again. Joe Mullen behind the net. Ron Francis there, trying to center it loose in front. Everybody overskates it. Mullen right on!
Healy there again. One of the few times in this period when you look for the Penguins to come back when they've had something resembling sustained pressure. The Islanders have done a good job, especially since the Hogue goal. 6 minutes exactly left.
You talked about how loose he was, Dick. This whole team, Tom Kurvers was saying this morning, the difference between this team and the last Game 7 he was involved in 88 with New Jersey, he said his team was so loose this time around. And there's a lot of tight individuals right now at the Penguin bench. 5:55 to go. 3-1 Islanders. Here's a steal by Tippett. Dave Tippett centering it. Healy swipes that away. Hogue off the boards. Larry Murphy moving right up for the Penguins. They've got to take chances, but it slides down the ice. And the speedy Steve Thomas has it. His shot drilled off the backboards. Thomas in front, and it deflects right to Barrasso. McEachern leaves it for Samuelsson. Cross ice pass for McEachern. He chops it in and gives chase. Going to the backboards. McEachern works it free. Strachey in front. McEachern rolling it. Healy again got a piece of that. Tocchet forechecking, but the Islanders clear with 5:05 to go.
Boy, Larry Murphy had moved in. You're going to see a lot of that now, of course, in the part of the Pittsburgh defenseman. He was the one who had the chance. And Healy has faced 37 shots and stopped 36 of them. Good work by Sean McEachern from around behind it, and he battled his way clear. And there's Murphy in close. The defenseman, number 55, gets the chance. And the save is made by the brilliant, tonight, certainly brilliant New York Islander goaltender.
And the only guy happier than Glenn Healy tonight, and the rest of the Islanders, may be Glenn Healy's agent. Jacques Demers watching anxiously. It's a live shot from a hotel in Montreal.
Canadians will leave tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on a chartered flight to Pittsburgh if they're coming to Pittsburgh. They may be leaving at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to go to the Forum to practice. Now Arbour and the Islanders 4 minutes and 50 seconds away. And throughout this series, Arbour has been much more animated than Scotty has behind the Pittsburgh bench. Well, he's very laid back through all of this.
A lot of Islander observers say they've never seen Al Arbour since the Stanley Cup days so excited, so animated, and coaching this team on a daily basis. No wonder. Ramsey trying to keep it in, does. There's Lemieux. He's watched by Krupp. Martin Strachey in on the boards against Kasparaitis. Jagr trying to work it free, and play whistle down. We're going to have a couple penalties.
Yeah, and Mario's going to get one of them. And that's not what the Penguins want to have happen with 4:25 left in regulation time, and maybe in their season, to have Mario Lemieux in the penalty box for 2 minutes of that time. Uwe Krupp and Lemieux were jabbing at one another, and they kept it up for quite a while. Van Hellemond perhaps gave them a little bit of time to do it, but that's a very unusual thing for Mario to get involved in. I suppose it's the old cliche of frustration and all of that, but that's what's happened. So Lemieux and Uwe Krupp, the big guy, on defense for the Islanders. So Krupp hangs on. Mario gets upset. Watch them. 1, 2, again. They keep going, and they kept going, and it was the last jab by Lemieux. That's when Van Hellemond raised his hand and gave them the penalty. He let them get away with the first 2 or 3, but not the 4th. So the Penguins, without Kevin Stevens since early in the first period, are now without Mario through almost half of their very critical 4:25.
It is 4-on-4. Murphy couldn't keep it in at the line. Jagr and Francis up front.
Chris, right there is an indication of what's been going on here tonight. Pittsburgh won the draw, and Murphy just mishandled the puck. Then they go offside. They have not been sharp. I remember coming in and doing the last 2 games last year when they played the Rangers. Mario wasn't even playing, but boy, you just knew that this was a team with a mission. They haven't struck me that way coming in and doing the 3 games here this week in this series. Not the same, quite the same at all.
Scotty Bowman employing 3 forwards, Francis, Jagr, and Mullen, with Larry Murphy, the lone defenseman, in this 4-on-4 situation with 4:14 to go. In regulation time, it's a 2-goal Islander lead in Game 7. Here's Jagr working in. Jagr can't knock it past Healy. He knocks Healy down. Jagr down on the goal crease and the puck out to center. Under 4 left. Benoit Hogue can't clear it, and here's Larry Murphy deep in the zone. Looking to center, out in front, they score! And the champions are still alive with 3:47 left.
We talked about the defenseman moving up, and Murphy has been doing it throughout this entire period. And Ron Francis finds the hole. He just jabs at the pass from in behind the goal line that came back from Murphy right here. Murphy threw it out. The defenseman at the side of the net missed it. And Francis jabs it home. 3 minutes and 47 seconds left here in regulation time. The second Pittsburgh goal on the 38th Pittsburgh shot.
Ron Francis from Murphy. 16-13, and what a finish we're in store for. Lots of time for the Penguins, but they've still got Mario in the box for another 1:10. Volek with the steal. And it slides in on Barrasso. Now Scotty Bowman has 2 defensemen, Samuelson and Murphy, with McEachern and Tocchet up front. Sean McEachern shooting on Healy, and plenty of traffic around the Islander netminder as Tocchet was crashing in.
We've talked before in these playoffs about how a goal can change things around. One goal scored by a team that was really going not very far. Well, we might have it right here now. Tocchet charging, Volek watching, and Healy stopping. And there's 3:18 left. Lemieux in the penalty box, along with Krupp. They have 53 seconds. And the crowd, which was so quiet, as Chris pointed out earlier in this period, look at them and listen to them right now.
It's a nervous frenzy at the Civic Arena. Ron Francis, the goal scorer, 6th of the playoffs in his 90th playoff game, back out with Jagr. Jagr knocked down against the boards. Francis battling against Malakhov. Malakhov still tying it up, now throws it forward, and Benoit Hogue clears it ahead. We've got 3 minutes to go in the 3rd period. 30 seconds left in the coincidental minors to Lemieux and Krupp. And Francis has to go back to get it. The biggest upset of a defending Stanley Cup champion, Dick, was over 40 years ago when Montreal unseated Detroit. Here's a break, and it's Brian Mullen. Clear-cut break. Mullen shot it wide. Oh, what a chance for the Islanders to put it away. Barrasso off the back glass with 2:22 to go. And the team's at full strength. Here's Mario. Lemieux takes a look. And the pass broken up by Kasparaitis. Now Benoit Hogue out at center ice. Lost control. Samuelson feeds it ahead. Broken up by Vaske. Exactly 2 minutes to go in regulation time. 3-2 Islanders. Off the glass, and here is Mullen. Check that, Loiselle to the line. By himself. Fitzgerald keeps it in. Samuelson off the boards. Real battle for it. Lemieux springs it free to Samuelson. He'll flip it in. 1:35 left. Off the boards. Kept in Ramsey. There's the shot just wide. Far point Samuelson. Fanned on it. Loose in front. Krupp trying to clear. Joe Mullen there. Backhand to Healy. He'll hang on. And down goes Tocchet in front.
Rich Pilon and Rick Tocchet. The fans react. A weak clearing effort by Uwe Krupp. Almost gets the Islanders in trouble. Now, here's something that's happening. Pittsburgh's on a bit of a roll. They're starting to get some pressure. The fans, upset with a non-call on the Tocchet situation, have littered the ice. This game's going to be held up for a while. Here's the chance for Brian Mullen. As he picked up a loose puck, did he ever pull away? But it seemed to roll on him right there, if you notice. Just as he went to shoot, and he flipped it wide. And Arbour calls his team over because this game's going to have to be held up. They don't even have to call a timeout here. We're going to be a while now as the workers here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh are going to have to come out and clear the debris which was thrown on the ice as the fans got upset because right there Rich Pilon wasn't called for what he did to Rick Tocchet.
This game was tied 1-1 after 2. In the third at 6:10, David Volek from Ferraro and Fitzgerald. Then the long shot by Hogue at 9:09 made it 3-1. Ron Francis at 16:13 has given the Penguins some life. Given these fans some life too.
The goal by Francis indeed. But here's the main stumbling block. Glenn Healy. Now Barrasso has stayed on the bench. The Penguins now leave. Tom Barrasso stays. The Pittsburgh net is empty. Mullen, Francis, Jagr, Tocchet, Murphy, and Lemieux. The 6 attackers for the Stanley Cup champions.
And regardless of who wins now, Dick, we'll be talking about this game for a long time to come. Penguins win it. Lemieux in front. Healy down. Jagr looking for it. But Healy has it underneath.
Great job by Ron Francis on the faceoff. He won it clean as a whistle back to Lemieux. His shot to the front. And Jagr couldn't do much with the rebound. Take a look at this. Francis on the backhand with the draw. Lemieux with the shot. Jagr looking for it. Taken out by Big Krupp. And Healy covered up. But a good draw for Francis. Out there against Fitzgerald right now again.
Well, the edge and experience to Ron Francis. And he wins another clean, but it comes outside the line over the stick of Lemieux. Penguins work it back in. Jagr deep. Takes a hit behind the goal. Extra man out for Pittsburgh. Mullen to Murphy. Murphy shot, scores! Penguins tie!
Shot comes in from Murphy. Ron Francis looked as though he might have got his stick on it. And the Penguins have tied it with exactly a minute to go. Boy, what a job by Francis in this situation. Winning the faceoffs. He scored the goal that made it 3-2. Murphy barely keeping it in at the blue line. And the tip in by Francis. I don't think anybody else touched it. We'll wait. We've got a timeout here. What a change in Pittsburgh.
What did Scotty Bowman say about a guy he loves to have in a 7th game? Ron Francis, Joe Mullen, and here's the deflection.
Francis parked in front of the net. Yes, makes contact. It goes off Healy's left arm and into the net.
Well, a guy distraught about being ejected from Game 6 because of a high stick. And Scotty Bowman felt that really hurt his team in Game 6. Well, Francis is back tonight with 2 goals in 2:47 in the final 5 minutes of regulation time. And Jacques got to wait a little longer.
5 minutes worth of play. Leading up to it, it appeared as the Penguins weren't going to go very far here tonight after they fell behind 3-1 on the long shot goal by Benoit. What a night in Pittsburgh. What a finish in Pittsburgh. The goalie out. It paid off for the Penguins.
Well, now will the Penguins play their first overtime game of the '93 Stanley Cup playoffs, or can they score again? Or can the Islanders, resilient throughout the series, bounce back? Lead pass to Hogue, too far. He crashes the boards with Samuelsson. David Volek behind the net. Benoit Hogue through the goal crease. And now Lemieux out to center for Mullen, too far. Kasparaitis to Hogue over his stick. Brian Mullen there. Benoit Hogue flips it in. Under a half minute to go. Everybody on their feet at the Civic Arena. Vaske clearing it back as the clock ticks down. Mullen lifting it in. Kick free. And for the first time in the '93 playoffs, the Penguins will go to overtime.
Okay, this is May 14th, 1993. And a new hero on the Stanley Cup scene. Glenn Healy gets ready in the nets for the Islanders. And the two winningest coaches in NHL history continue to match wits. And they've gone right down as far as they can go.
Penguins did not lose in overtime this year in the regular season. 3-0-7. They're 8-5 in the playoffs. Lifetime, but again have not played overtime yet in the '93 playoffs. How about that record? 28-7 for the Islanders in postseason overtime in their history. 3-0 this year as they clear it in. Barrasso around the boards. Mullen up front with Ron Francis and Mario Lemieux. Benoit Hogue for the Islanders with Brian Mullen and Steve Thomas. Kept in by Larry Murphy at the point. The shot goes wide and around for Thomas. He can't control it as it slides to center. Ramsey sends it back in. Pilon against the far boards. He flips it, and after it's Hogue. Benoit Hogue beaten to it by Murphy. And now Ramsey clears to center. Malakhov ahead to Hogue. Here's a chance. Benoit Hogue with Thomas in front. Hogue still with it. Shot in front. Oh, it went off a leg in the goal crease. Hogue has it again. And it's cleared over the glass, and the champions were on the ropes again.
It'll go off a leg or off the post. Benoit Hogue really hung onto the puck for a long time. No, it hit the players at the side of the net. Might have gone wide. Brian Mullen was tied up. Oh, what a chance for Hogue, who had the goal, the long shot goal that made it 3-1 for New York in the third period. There he is, circling. Lets it go from as he comes back out. And Tippett and Mullen were the two players at the side of the net that hit one of them and bounced out of harm's way. We're told that after another look, even though they gave the official sheet out that showed Francis getting the tying goal in 19 minutes, that it has been awarded to Tocchet. We were just told that about 30 seconds ago here.
Francis has one then. Tocchet has his 7th of the playoffs. And the puck slides back down into the Islander zone. We played a minute of sudden death overtime in the Patrick final. Game 7. Penguins crashing the boards. Jeff Daniels behind the net. There's Tocchet. Tough man to wrestle off the puck. Volek off the boards. Tippett trying to keep it in for Pittsburgh and does. Healy out of the net. Misplayed it. Centered. And it goes to Volek. Oh, Healy took a chance there. Samuelsson behind the goal again. This time Healy stops it. Vaske. Daniels on him. Tocchet with the check. Tocchet trying to flip it to the corner. There's Mario centering it to Vaske. Dennis Vaske outlets left wing King, and he'll fire it in on Tom Barrasso. Barrasso lead pass to Lemieux. What a great play by the goaltender. Dropping for Murphy. Back to Mario. Healy down, and Lemieux shoots wide. He was in too deep. But it all started with the pass by Barrasso. Lemieux centered and it was gobbled up by Krupp and out to center. Loiselle with Ferraro. 2 overtime goals already in the backhand right on. Loose in front and cleared by Francis. Out to center. Krupp is there. Dalgarno off the boards. Loiselle offside. Ferraro trapped inside the line.
Barrasso coming up big on Ray Ferraro, who's got a hot hand, as you say, Chris. A couple of overtime goals already this year in the playoffs. Mario with a chance, but really it was a chance that became a non-chance when he went too far, swinging to his right. Murphy threw it across, and then Mario faked a bit, and you'll see he's right at the goal line. By that time, the defenseman had recovered. Now here's Ferraro's chance, working against Ramsey, and the shot, Barrasso, good stop. Now here's the pass from Barrasso. Barrasso stopped it. Islanders were on a change. Mario right at the red line. And that's what started that rush in that led to the chance that he looked like he was going to have a better chance before he swung a bit too wide. Look, what's going on? Penguins have had the jump in this overtime, but I think the Islanders have had the best scoring chances.
As you can see, Mario playing over half the game so far, offside at the line.
Now, take a look at the middle one again, right here. 7 straight overtime games won by the Islanders in the playoffs. Interestingly enough, the last time they played in a 7th game was the long game, the 68 minutes worth of overtime. Pat LaFontaine scoring the winning goal in Washington at 68-47 of overtime, the 5th longest game in Stanley Cup history.
Boy, some other great 7th game overtimes come to mind. About Calgary over Vancouver in '89 on their way to a Stanley Cup.
And now we get the face-off back in the New York zone. Al Arbour, his team 2 goals up with less than 4 minutes to play in regulation time. But we're in Pittsburgh. The home team is named Penguins, and they've won the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. And we can never discount a team with that record.
Our opening was live and let die, and we're now into sudden death. And the fans on their feet at the Civic Arena.
And a lot's happened in 2:37 of OT.
Francis Lemieux, Jagr up front. Francis back to Larry Murphy. He's been dangerous all night. That deflects off the stick of Healy. Lemieux with the steal. Shot! Healy save! Francis centers it out in front. Murphy will keep it in. Dalgarno after it for New York. He flips it to... And Fitzgerald knocked down at the line. Here's Francis. Great stop. Glenn Healy with the glove. His 41st save of the night.
What a stop. He doesn't really come out all that far to challenge the shooters. He was right at the edge of the crease. Jagr was cutting for the net. Here's the play that starts the rush up ice as Ramsey knocked Fitzgerald down. The quick pass left side. The shot. There's the save. He had to hang on to it because Jagr, if that puck gets away from him, Jagr cutting for the net, would have been in home free. Bit of a goaltender's eye look at this. Boy, does Francis tee it up and let it go. There's the stop, and there's Jagr cutting in from that right side. Nothing to cut in for after the save by Healy.
Well, a ring that was quiet for most of the night is jumping right now. Hogue and Tippett on another big face-off deep in the Islander zone. Won by the Penguins. Samuelson shot right on it. Oh, Healy quickly on the rebound with Penguins all around.
Oh, he had to be quick on that. Daniels was the closest. And again, the Penguins winning faceoffs. It led to the tying goal in the last minute, and it almost led to the winning goal right here. Tippett and the draw. Puck is tipped back, and Samuelson lets it go. Daniels will be right there looking for it, reaching for it, but Healy barely beats him to it.
This time the Islanders win the faceoff thanks to Loiselle. Vaske flipping it high and down the ice, but they'll have to do it over again. Samuelsson touching it, icing the call.
3 shots for Pittsburgh in the overtime, 2 for the Islanders. There have been some good ones through the first 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Again from the faceoff, good play. Tippett taking Hogue out as the puck is dropped. Daniels gets it back to the point, and Samuelsson's shot is stopped by Healy. The second effort here by Daniel in front as they fall. Tippett's over him as well. They'll do it all over again. First period, you saw Pittsburgh with all kinds of chances, and they couldn't score. And they're setting it up here again in overtime with some chances early.
Loiselle, the face-off man for the Islanders against Francis, a pair of 10s. Mullen and Mario also up front. Francis from the face-off. Now Thomas lost control. Loiselle follows up and gets it out. Here's Thomas. Steve Thomas to the line against Ramsey, and Ramsey wraps him up. Francis off the board, strange hop, chance for Vaske, shot, and Barrasso went down, it went wide. Malakhov into the corner for Thomas. Brian Mullen alone in front, but Mario scoops it up, ahead to Murphy. What a night for Larry Murphy, instrumental in the comeback. But now Hogue intercepts and starts the Islanders away with Mullen. Brian Mullen drops for Hogue. Samuelsson makes the check with good back checking by Mario Lemieux. Now Francis to the line with Jagr. Drops for Jagr. Shot goes wide. Brian Mullen behind the net. Uwe Krupp up ahead on right wing. Jagr almost stole. And the Islanders again send it down the ice. 4 minutes, 23 seconds gone in sudden death overtime. Another great night of hockey for fans across North America. Here's a chance for Jagr in front, and Ferraro coolly took it away.
Boy, with the net wide open, Ferraro handled the puck very close to the crease.
Now the Penguins will be charged with icing and a face-off back in the Pittsburgh zone.
Jagr at the side of the net here, draws the puck back and then fans on it there, as you see. Healy had it pretty well covered.
Ferraro, Volek, and King on this face-off for the Islanders. And again, Ron Francis is out to take all the key draws for the Penguins. Ferraro, a hero twice against Washington. Could he be tonight? Cleared back in by Vaske. Samuelsson around the boards. There's Francis. Cross ice pass. In the middle for Lemieux. Backhand. Wide of the far post. King gets it outside the line. Gets it back again. Beats cross ice. Broken up by Samuelsson. And Samuelsson's pass off a skate. Volek turns. With Ferraro. Here they come. 2-on-1. Volek shoots. Scores! David Volek. Islanders. And they'll be a new Stanley Cup champion in 1993.
It is quiet again in Pittsburgh. What a hockey game. What a finish. And what a surprise. And Al Arbour, one of the greatest coaches that this game has ever known, is congratulated by the Penguins, led by Captain Mario Lemieux.
What an unlikely hero.
Here it is. Now, Samuelsson was caught. Straka tried to get back, but it was really a 3-on-1. And Volek, you almost got the feeling as the pass came over to him perfectly, and he one-timed it. That's an identical goal to the one Steve Thomas scored the other night at the Nassau Coliseum on Tom Barrasso. Boy, what a new hero that was for the Islanders, who came out of nowhere tonight. He hadn't been a factor in this series. Barrasso sliding across as the pass went over, but couldn't get at the right place at the right time. The two Samuelssons were on defense. Hope Samuelsson was caught. Shell Samuelsson was back. Straka, the rookie, was trying to get back, but couldn't make it. And they were able to complete the play. And Volek was able to finish the play with the big shot.